Today I wish to read you an article I recently wrote for Jada Art Magazine. The topic of this article, I believe, is of the utmost importance because the world is changing so quickly, and I do believe that creatives will be at the very center of this wonderful new world. The title of the article is "The Role of the Artist in the Age of the Metaverse, an Introduction to the Idea." When asked to write articles on art and art history, I often emphasize topics that deal with future histories, not because humanity lacks fascinating past chapters with astounding artistic productions, but because the present is the most mercurial of moments since the Renaissance. Considering the current rise of Web 3.0, the upcoming multi-industry adoption of the metaverse, and the soon-to-arrive age of singularity, unfathomable changes are poised to happen at all levels of existence, propelling the thinker and the maker to embrace the role of visionaries by attentively acting as self-determined futurists and content creators. Thus, it will be the responsibility of artists to set trends that rightly reflect and inform the aims of this generation. In order to understand the silver lining prior to the full implementation of Web 3.0, we must be aware of how we have arrived at the current moment. Since its inception, the internet has expanded at great strides. First used only by the American military, then by major research institutions, and by the mid-90s by the average individual with a landline and a PC. At that point, although already the most revolutionary invention of modern times, the World Wide Web was simply a read-only type of interface, known as Web 1.0. The internet eerily resembled a vast Wikipedia page comprised of thousands of textual websites, which quickly became the world's largest library. During that phase, the internet was known as the hypertext web. Between 2004 and 2016, Web 2.0 would become the new internet. At that point, three major revolutions would take place. The internet would grow from millions to billions of users, the first social media communities would be formed, and the average user would become the main content producer of the webosphere, making it a read and write kind of internet, giving rise to the powerful age of blogging. Although this constituted a major progress in the relationship between the internet and its users, Web 2.0 was also highly predatory, as it turned its consumers into its most prized products, selling their data to companies and allowing ads to become hyper-targeted to specific preferences of all internet users. Enter Web 3.0. Since 2016, the internet has risen to incredible new heights, going from the internet of things to the internet of all people. Only now can we truly understand the web's revolutionary potential for content creators, as we now realize that the artist fits the description of the future rulers of the metaverse. That is, if and only if artists learn the rules of the game in order to fulfill their creative potential, which is what we have seen so far through social media and the implementation of various community-based apps such as Discord and Telegram for the dissemination of art and art topics. All these dynamics take place as the internet grows from billions to trillions of users, and its very purpose becomes blurred with this generation's idealism. As we enter the metamodern age, mainly as a reaction to postmodernism's nihilism, this generation's creative class embraces a kind of naivete that goes beyond dreams and wants, becoming reality via pragmatic plans of action. One example of this idealistic pragmatism is the great rise of contemporary muralism, which has gone beyond its graffiti counterpart. While there is major cultural relevance in the unsolicited and often illegally placed graffiti, the making of its permit-based equivalent often requires drafting contracts, fundraising, and the acquiring of equipment, such as lifts for large projects. Regardless of all the hassle, this art form is on the rise, becoming the hallmark of new arts districts in every major metropolis. The same can be said of new art collectives, artist-run galleries, artist-run non-profit organizations, and artist-run art fairs. In addition to the boom in the development of new web-based art platforms where NFTs, virtual gatherings, and virtual exhibitions continue to expand art's reach. For these initiatives to be successful, major investments in time, human resources, and financial planning must take place. We thus see that this generation's new breed of creatives is quick to develop the practical skills necessary to manifest the life they wish to live. This stands in major contrast to the previous socially detached, theory-heavy, and white cube-driven generation of artists. Web 3.0 will focus on the fulfillment of the self through the collective, paying strong attention to rewarding the creative mind insofar as such creatives are aggressive constructivists. Indeed, the power will be with the people, but only with those who engage in creating the kind of structure that will allow them to thrive in every realm of existence. Through these new dynamics, STEAM approaches are likely to flourish, as artists will bring their soul, color, and poetry to various transformative launches in this new self-starter and digitally nomadic entrepreneurial era. Now is the moment when all sorts of artists, such as painters, sculptors, animators, writers, musicians, and performers, can build dignified platforms to showcase their works, to connect with their collectors, and to teach their craft, thus providing artists with the possibility of building financially sustainable careers. Once mastered, Web 3.0 and a less gimmicky metaverse will not jeopardize an artist's real-world activities, for example, studio practices with traditional media, but only expand it further, way beyond our wildest dreams, desires, and ambitions. That is the end of the article, and I believe that if you pay attention to what I mentioned there, you will do quite well. The changes seem to be abrupt, but we have been mastering every new technology that arrives for the purpose of expanding our creative voices. So please consider various angles through which your art can expand. The future is here. Let's go.